in the heart of Jackson, Mississippi. Where the sun hangs low and heavy like a secret waiting to be whispered, the bells of the collective gather once more, their laughter echoing through the humid air like a melody from a forgotten jazz record. This is Season 6, Episode 2, titled POLYaMARIE, a chapter that promises to unravel the delicate threads of friendship, love, and ambition that bind these extraordinary women together. Marie Hamilton Abston, the poised and ever-graceful soul of the group, stands at the center of this whirlwind, her life a tapestry of elegance and enigma, woven with the silken threads of her successful real estate endeavors and the intricate patterns of her personal heartstrings. As the camera pans across the revitalizing streets of Farish Street, a historic district once pulsing with the rhythm of Black excellence, now stirring back to life under the determined hands of these 5 trailblazing entrepreneurs, we see the backdrop for their story as a place where past glories meet future dreams, where every cobblestone holds a story of resilience. Marie, with her signature style that blends southern charm with urban sophistication, steps into frame, her heels clicking assertively against the pavement, a symbol of her unyielding spirit. Today, she's not just navigating property deals, she's confronting the tangled web of her dating life. A realm where vulnerability meets the sharp edges of rumor and reality. The episode opens with Marie in her sunlit office, surrounded by blueprints and contracts that map out empires. Yet her mind wanders to the 2 men who have captured her attention: Cedric, the steady and reliable partner who offers the comfort of familiarity, and Martin, the enigmatic newcomer whose charm is as intoxicating as a summer storm. As she sips her chamomile tea, steam curling like question marks in the air, Marie reflects on the choices that have led her here, years of pouring her energy into building a legacy for the women of Jackson, only to find her own heart adrift in uncharted waters. The phone buzzes, a text from Latrice Rogers, the fiery and unapologetic wigmuggle whose words cut like a well-honed blade. "Girl, we need to talk about what I'm hearing." Marie's brow furrows, the first crack in her composed facade, as the weight of impending gossip settles upon her shoulders. Cutilitrous, in her bustling salon, where the air is thick with the scent of hairspray and ambition, scissors snipping away at doubts while conversations weave through the chairs like invisible currents. Latrice, with her larger-than-life personality and a laugh that could fill a cathedral, has always been the truth-teller of the group, but today, her truths carry the sting of speculation. She's heard whispers of rumors swirling like leaves in the Mississippi wind about Marie's divided affections, tales that paint her friend in shades of scandal that Latrice knows aren't entirely unfounded. As clients chat around her, their stories a chorus of everyday dramas. Latrice styles up the other belles, her voice a mix of concern and that signature spice that makes every call with her an event. "Y'all, Marie's playing both sides, and it's about to blow up," she declares, her words igniting the group's collective curiosity. Meanwhile, across town, Lateshia Pearson, the brunch queen and purpose-driven powerhouse, is in the midst of planning her next gathering, an event designed not just for mimosas and merriment but for mending the fractures that Season 5 left in their sisterhood. Lateshia's home, a haven of warm words and inspirational quotes framed like art, buzzes with activity as she coordinates with her husband Glenn, their banter a reminder of the marital tightrope they walk. But even as she chops vegetables for her famous quiches, her thoughts drift to Marie, the woman whose poise she admires but whose romantic entanglements she fears could ripple through their circle like a stone skipped across a still pond. The Belle Collective, the soulful singer whose voice heals as much as it haunts Lateshia Pearson, the resilient mother and businesswoman whose strength is forged in fire, and now, with Selena perhaps lingering on the edges from past seasons, form a constellation of support. Each star shining in its own right, but together, they illuminate the path forward for Farish Street's revival. As the afternoon sun dips lower, casting long shadows that mirror the lengthening doubts in Marie's heart, she decides to take control, scheduling a coffee meet with Cedric, the man who's been her rock through boardroom battles and late-night strategy sessions. The Café Tilde copyright, a cozy nook with exposed brick and the aroma of fresh roasted beans, becomes the stage for her confession, words tumbling out like confetti from a burst by a tilde plus minus auto. "Cedric, there's someone else, and I need to figure this out." His face, usually a map of calm assurance, crumples into a landscape of hurt. Eyes searching hers for the map back to solidity. Outside, the world hurries by, cars honking their impatience, pedestrians lost in their phones oblivious to the quiet earthquake shaking the foundation of what was once a sure thing. Marie's hand trembles as she reaches for his. A bridge across the chasm opening between them, but Cedric pulls back, his voice steady yet laced with sorrow. "POLYaMARIE isn't in my vocabulary. Marie, choose, or lose us both." The word hangs in the air like smoke from a doused fire. POLYaMARIE, a term that challenges the monogamous norms of their southern upbringing, a concept as bold as Marie herself. Back at the salon, Lateshia can contain the floodgates she spills to Dembra over a quick lunch. The two women huddled in a booth at their favorite soul food spot, plates piled high with collards and cornbread that comfort as much as they nourish. Dembra, with her ethereal beauty and a voice that could soothe the savage beast, listens intently, her fork pausing mid-air as Lateshia recounts the rumors. Martin, the charming developer who's been spotted with Marie at industry mixers, his arm possessively around her waist, while Cedric remains the unseen anchor. "It's like she's collecting hearts instead of properties," Lateshia quips, half joking, half worried, her eyes sparkling with the drama that fuels their bond. Dembra nods, her mind racing to the lyrics of a song she's been composing, one about love's many faces, but she tempers her response with wisdom. "We don't know the full story, Lateshia. Marie's always been the one to hold space for complexity. Let's not judge before we hear her out." Yet, even as she speaks, Dembra feels the pull of loyalty, the invisible strings that tie them all, wondering if this revelation will snap or strengthen their collective weave. As evening falls, painting the sky in hues of bruised purple and gold, Lateshia Colon arrives home to her family's chaotic symphony, children's laughter mingling with the sizzle of dinner on the stove, her husband offering a weary smile that speaks volumes of their shared battles. Lateshia, the epitome of grace under pressure, with her athletic build and unshakable faith, has always been the mediator, but tonight, her phone lights up with Latishia's group text, the rumors exploding like fireworks across the screen. She scrolls, heart sinking as details emerge. Marie's double dates, the late-night calls, the whispers of a throuple in the making. "Lord, give me strength," she murmurs, sinking into the couch, her mind a whirlwind of prayers and practicalities. How does one navigate love's labyrinth without losing sight of sisterhood? The episode builds tension like a slow-cooking gumbo, layers upon layers of flavor and friction, as the Belle individual worlds collide in anticipation of their next gathering. Lateshia, ever the orchestrator, sends out the invite. Belle brunch, hearts open, no judgments. It's a call to arms, a summons to circle the wagons around Marie, whose choices challenge them to expand their definitions of love. In her bedroom, Marie lies awake, the ceiling fan whirring like her thoughts, replaying Cedric's words, Martin's flirtatious texts glowing on her nightstand. "POLYaMARIE, a path less traveled, a love that multiplies rather than divides." But in the close-knit world of the Belles, will it unite or unravel? The night deepens, Jackson's lights twinkling like distant stars, each one a beacon for the women who dare to dream beyond convention. And as the credits tease the drama to come, we fade out on Marie's silhouette against the window, a woman on the precipice, ready to leap or fall. Word count: 1,245 approximate characters, 7,523. Dawn breaks over Jackson with the gentleness of a lover's touch, sunlight filtering through lace curtains in Marie's upscale apartment, where the air still carries the faint trace of last night's vanilla candle, a scent that now feels like a mocking reminder of sweetness turned bitter. Marie rises, her robe slipping like a sigh from her shoulders, as she pads to the kitchen. The marble counters cool under her palms as she brews coffee strong enough to jolt the truth into clarity. The episode delves deeper into her psyche, voiceover narrating the internal monologue that's as rich and layered as the chicory in her cup. "Love isn't a transaction, but in my world of deals and deadlines, why does it feel like one?" Flashbacks flicker like old film reels. Dinners with Cedric, his hands steady on hers during a tense negotiation, his presence a bulwark against the world's chaos. Then, the spark with Martin at a Farish Street fundraiser, his eyes locking onto hers across a room of power players, igniting a fire that traditional flames couldn't touch. Marie's journey with POLYaMARIE isn't a whim, it's a reclamation, born from years of self-sacrifice. Of building empires while her heart gathered dust on the shelf. She scrolls through self-help articles on her tablet, words like ethical non-monogamy and boundaried love jumping out like lifelines, challenging the monogamous script handed down through generations of Southern belles who married young and loved quietly. But in the collective, quiet isn't an option. Their bonds demand volume, visibility, vulnerability. Meanwhile, Latrice's salon hums with morning energy, stylists wielding blow dryers like wands, transforming clients while Latrice transforms rumors into rallying cries. She's on the phone with Lateshia, her voice a torrent. This poly mess with Marie, it's gonna split us if we don't address it head on. Remember how her secrets almost derailed the Farish project last season? Lateshia, multitasking as always, a stirring batter for blueberry muffins while jotting notes for her nonprofit's next grant. Pauses, her nurturing spirit clashing with the protector in her. Latrice, ease up. Marie's human. Not a headline. We'll brunch it out, like always. But even Lateshia feels the undercurrent of unease, her mind flashing to her own marital strains with Glenn, the stalking accusations from seasons past that still linger like ghosts in their king-size bed. The brunch preparations become a metaphor for the episode's core. Lateshia's kitchen, a command center of chopping boards and charcuterie spreads, where ingredients from disparate sources, the sharp cheddar, sweet figs, briny olive essa must harmonize or clash. She envisions the Belle around her farmhouse table, mimosas bubbling like unspoken tensions, each woman bringing her flavor to the mix. Cut to Tempera Sherry in her home studio, microphone in hand, crooning lyrics that pour from her soul like honey from a comb. Love's a river, bending round the rocks. Sometimes it floods, sometimes it stops. Her music has always been therapy, a way to process the collective's chaos. And today, it's laced with empathy for Marie, whose romantic fluidity mirrors Tempera's own fluid identity as artist, mother, and friend. Tempera texts Marie, "Whatever path you're on, sis, we're walking with you." The gesture is small but seismic, a thread pulling the group tighter. Lateshia, meanwhile, juggles a morning yoga session with her kids, downward dogs and giggles filling the living room, but her serenity shatters with a call from her husband, who's heard the gossip through the grapevine of Jackson's tight-knit community. Bells stick together, but hearts? That's personal, he advises, his voice an anchor in her storm. Lateshia nods to herself, resolving to be the voice of compassion at brunch, drawing from her own history of blended family heartaches. As the clock ticks toward noon, the women converge, cars pulling up to Lateshia's driveway like ships to harbor. Hugs exchanged with the warmth of old flames but eyes starting with curiosity. Marie arrives last, her designer sunglasses shielding more than the sun. Clutching a bottle of Ross A. copyright like a peace offering, the table groans under the weight of Lateshia's masterpiece. Avocado toasts ground with poached eggs, fruit platters bursting with color, pastries flaking with buttery promisey. But the real feast is the conversation, starters served with sidelong glances. Latrice, never one for subtlety, dives in. "Marie, spill." "Cedric, Martina, what's the parley play?" The word drops like a stone in still water, ripples spreading as forks pause. Breaths held. Marie exhales, removing her shades. Her eyes meeting each pair around the table. Lateshia's concerned, Tempera's supportive, Lateshia's steady, Latrice's probing. "It's not playing," she begins, voice steady as steel wrapped in silk. "It's exploring. Love isn't finite. Why should I ration it?" The brunch erupts into a symphony of responses. Latrice's scoff, "Girl. In Mississippi? That's a recipe for recession," met with Tempera's counter, "or revolution." Lateshia moderates, her hands gesturing like a conductor. "We're building Farish Street on inclusion. Why not extend that to hearts?" Lateshia shares a story from her faith community, of loves that multiply blessings, her words a balm on raw nerves. Outside, the garden blooms riotously, roses climbing trellises like ambitions unchecked, mirroring the women's growth. As plates empty, confessions fill the space. Latrice admits her own past flings during rocky patches with Cliff. Tempera reveals a song inspired by fluid affections. Lateshia confesses fears of judgment in her conservative circles. Marie listens. Tears glistening like dew on petals. Feeling seen not as scandalous, but as sister. The episode's midpoint pivots here, from confrontation to communion, the bell toasting not to resolution, but to the messy beauty of drying. Yet, shadows linger. A text from Cedric buzzes Marie's phone mid-toast. Heard the rumors, we're done. Her face falls, the group's cheer fracturing, and Latisha's earlier words echo. Rumors spread like kudzu, choking before you can cut them back. As they clear the table, laughter mingling with lingering doubts, the Camry pulls back, Jackson's skyline framing their fragile unity, a city of survivors where every story bends but doesn't break. POLYaMARIE, in this context, isn't just Marie's path, it's a mirror for the collective's evolution, challenging them to love expansively, to redevelop not just streets, but souls. The afternoon stretches, conversations spilling into the garden, where hammocks sway like pendulums marking time's inexorable march. Marie wanders to a quiet corner, phone in hand, dialing Martin, his voice a velvet reassurance. I'm here, all in, however this looks. But the call ends with a promise of a meet later, leaving her adrift again. Back inside, the others plot Farish Street's next phase, a community center for women's empowerment, funded by their collective cloud. But whispers of Marie's drama thread through, a reminder that personal tsunamis can swamp public progress. Night falls softly, string lights twinkling like conspirators, as the bell part with hugs tighter than usual, vows to check in daily. Marie drives home alone, radio crooning a blues tune about forked roads, her reflection in the rearview a portrait of resolve tinged with regret. The episode closes the speed on a cliffhanger note, Martin's car pulling up as she parks, their embrace silhouetted against the porch light, questions unanswered, hearts entangled. In the world of the bells, love is the ultimate redevelopment project, tearing down walls to build something bolder. Brick by vulnerable brick. Word count, 1,187. Approximate characters, 7,192. Morning light spills into Latrice Rogers' world like an uninvited guest, illuminating the chaos of her master suite where wigs perch on styrofoam heads like crowned queens awaiting their subjects, and her vanity is a battlefield of potions and palettes promising perfection. Latrice, the undisputed diva of drama and determination, wakes with a fire in her belly, fueled by last night's brunch revelations and the rumors she's unwittingly or perhaps wittingly fanned into flames. The episode shifts focus to her, voiceover capturing her essence. I'm the spark that lights the fire, but honey, sometimes I burn the house down too. She's in the shower, steam clouding the glass as she rehearses her next move, suds sliding down her curves like unspoken apologies she won't voice. Cliff, her husband, the steady counterpoint to her storm, knocks gently. Babe, that Marie talk to you good? Latrice steps out, towel turban crowning her head, eyes fierce. Good? I'm protecting the collective. Polly what? That's code for mess. Cliff chuckles, knowing better than to argue, instead offering coffee and a listening ear as she vents about the group's delicate balance, how Marie's choices could tip the scales from sisterhood to schism. Downstairs, their blended family stirs kids from previous chapters of life mingling with the aroma of bacon, a testament to Latrice's capacity for love's multiplicities, even if she preaches singularity. But today, her mind is on the salon, where business booms amid a buzz of gossip. Clients arrive with fresh styles in mind but leave with the latest on Marie's love triangle turned quadrangle. As she drives, top down on her convertible, when whipping her fresh blowout, Latrice blasts empowerment anthems, windows down to declare her independence to the world. The salon doors swing open to a flurry of activity, assistants prepping stations, phones ringing with appointment confirmations, the air electric with expectation. Latrice dives in, consulting on a client's lace front, her fingers deft as a surgeon's, but her conversation veers personal. Girl, you hear about Marie? Dating two men, in this town? The client gasps, eyes wide, eating the cycle as Latrice half regrets, half relishes the role of informant. Cut to the Farish Street planning meeting, where the Belle reconvene in a conference room overlooking the district's evolving faculty as scaffolding climbing like vines, workers hammering hope into place. Lateshia chairs, her notebook filled with agendas, funding pitches, vendor contracts, community outreach. But the undercurrent is Marie, who sits poised, pen tapping a rhythm of restraint. Before we drive in, Lateshia says, "Let's clear the air." Eyes turn to Latris, who straightens, chin high. "I'm just saying, rumors are flying because actions speak. Marie, own it." Marie meets her gaze, unflinching. "I am owning it. POLYaMARIE is my truth, not a rumor." The room tenses, Tamra interjecting with a song lyric about acceptance, Akasha quoting scripture on grace. But Latris presses, "Truth or not, it affects us. What if Cedric or Martin pulls funding from Farish?" The business bleeds into the personal, as it always does with these women, their empires intertwined like kudzu on a fence. Marie counters, voice rising like a crescendo, "My heart doesn't dictate deals. Judge me, fine ya, but don't sabotage the sisterhood." Latris recoils, stung, the meeting fracturing into sidebar huddles, papers shuffled as emotions shuffle priorities. Outside, the street hums with potential of food trucks serving po' boys, artists sketching murals of black icons, a reminder of why they fight, not just for themselves but for legacy. Back at the salon that afternoon, Latris gets a call from Cliff, who's fielded complaints from mutual friends about the gossip mill. "You're stirring the pot, Latris." "Cool it." She hangs up, staring at her reflection, the queen mask cracking to reveal the queen's doubts, a fear of losing Marie, fear of change, fear that her own imperfections make her hypocritical. In a rare moment of solitude, she journals, pen scratching truths. "I spread rumors to protect, but maybe I'm the one needing protection from judgment." The episode weaves this introspection with action, cutting to Marie's rendezvous with Martin at a secluded park, benches overlooking the Pearl River, water lazy under the sun. Martin, tall and tailored, with a smile that disarms, listens as she unloads the brunch blow-up. They're scared, Marie, of what you represent, a freedom they haven't claimed. Their kiss is tender, exploratory, a contrast to Cedric's familiar passion. But as they part, Martin's phone reveals a text from a colleague. "Heard about the Poly thing. Bold move for Farish investor." The rumors have tendrils everywhere, coiling around business as tightly as pleasure. Evening brings Dembra to Latris's door, guitar slung over her shoulder like a shield, inviting her for an impromptu jam session at a local lounge, the kind of place where blues bleed into soul and stories unfold over whiskey neat. They sing duets, voices blending in harmony that belies daytime discord, Dembra's melody wrapping around Latris's rasp like forgiveness unspoken. "We're family, Latris," Dembra says between sets, flaws and all. "Marie's not breaking us, she's stretching us." Latris nods, tears threatening mascara, the lounge's dim lights forgiving the vulnerability. Meanwhile, Akasha hosts a family game night, board games and laughter a counterpoint to the day's tensions, but her thoughts linger on the meeting, praying for unity as she tucks kids in with bedtime stories of strong women. Lateshia, winding down with Glenn, shares the drama over wine. Latris means well, but her mouth. Glenn, wiser from his own trials, advises, "Lead with love, not lectures." As midnight nears, Latris texts the group, "Sorry if I came hot, love y'all." Brunch was real. Responses flooding hearts, prayers, a digital hug across divides. Marie, curled with a book on open relationships, smiles at the olive branch, replying, "Apology accepted. Poly or not, I'm all in for us." The night sky over Jackson stars witness to this mending, constellations connecting points of light in the darkness. But rumors, like rivers, carve their own paths. A late-night call to Latris from an anonymous tip line reveals Moria Cedric's plotting a public call-out at the next collective event. Her gasp echoes into silence, the episode teasing escalation, fading on her face illuminated by phone glow, a warrior bracing for battle. In the Belle Collective, words are weapons and wounds, but also wondrous bridges built from broken boards, leading to stronger shores. Latris sets her alarm early, determined to douse the fire she lit, while across town, Marie dreams of multiplicities, her subconscious scripting scenes where love expands without exploding. The district sleeps, but its guardians stir, ever vigilant, ever evolving. Word count, 1,123 approximate characters, 6,845. Jackson's Pearl River shimmers like a sequined secret under the October moon, but inside Marie Hamilton Abston's sun-drenched clinic officia walls lined with patient success stories and grant plaques gleaming like hard-won trophies, so the air crackles with the kind of romantic roulette only a Belle can spin. As Belle Collective Season 6, Episode 2, POLYaMARIE, aired on OWN on October 10, 2025, thrusts Marie into a love triangle tighter than a corseted gala, forcing her to choose between the velvet pull of her ex-husband Cedric's nostalgic nostalgia and the fresh spark of Marcus's forward-facing fire, all while Latrice Rogers' rumor radar broadcasts the drama like a Jackson jukebox on blast. Marie, the 43-year-old lupus warrior and clinic CEO whose glow-up post-husband crash has been Season 6's silent soundtrack, sits at her mahogany desk in a tailored crimson blouse that hugs her curves like a confident caress, her curls framing a face flushed with the fever of indecision as she scrolls through dual DMs. Cedric's miss our late-night strategy sessions a dinner? Clashing with Marcus's vision board date? Let's map our app empire. The office, a sanctuary of stethoscopes and success, feels smaller as Marie's phone buzzes with Latrice's text a girl. Word on Farish's Cedric's circling back Marcus to fly to fight over scraps a spill. A gossip grenade lob from Latrice's wig salon, where her ear to the street has amplified Marie's polyamorous pickle into neighborhood lore. Flashbacks flood like a delta deluge. Episode 1's birthday bash blow-up. Cedric's velvet jewelry crash met by Marcus's rose rebellion. The Belle balcony broil turning toast into tension. Season 5's therapy triumphs where Marie journaled one man, one me no more multiples and her app-fueled autonomy, swiping Marcus amid lupus flare-ups that left her craving uncomplicated connection. The choice crystallizes in a powder room powwow with Essie, her clinic confidant. Essie, Cedric's the comfort food I know too well, a familiar flavor, but full of regret. Marcus is the fusion cuisine exciting. But will it fill or fizzle? Essie's sage snap. POLYaMARIE? Nah, Cisa pick the plate that nourishes, not the buffet that bloats. The Belle rally via group chat. Starmakish's menopause me says monogamy or move on. Lateshia's gym for the heart to choose the rep that builds, not breaks. But Latrice's rumors ripple wider. Her salon session with a mutual spilling. Marie's got two on the linea. Cedric's scamming a sequel. Marcus manifesting a merger. Marie's confessional cuts deep. I'm no polygamous princess. A lupus taught me limits. Love shouldn't feel like a lupus flare. Ex-fans feast on the frenzy. At Belle Love Lab tweeting, Marie's poly pickle in #POLYaMARIE. Cedric vs. Marcus equals choice. Kelsa OWN, y'all saucing the shade. #Belle Collective 6, OWN's cinematography. Quick cuts of DM pings like heartbeat monitors. Wide shots of Jackson's River reflecting Marie's Replessa amps the romantic roulette, tying to the show's soul. These Belles don't just date, they deliberate destinies. This opening act hooks with high-stakes heart flutters, turning DMs into dilemmas and whispers into wildfires, leaving us locked on Marie's line in the sand amid Mississippi's unapologetic allure, as the clinic's closing bell chimes like a countdown to clarity. Marie's romantic roulette in POLYaMARIE spins into a sisterhood strategy session at Sogusai's Soul Food Speakeasy, where gumbo simmers like simmering scandals and cornbread whispers like Latrice's loose lips. The Belle turning tables into tribunals to dissect Marie's dual date dilemma amid the fallout from Cedric's sequel scams and Marcus's merger magic. Marie, her crimson blouse now casual over jeans like a queen in repose, slides into the booth with a sigh. Y'all. Cedric's texting legacy lunches. Marcus's mapping app dreams. I'm torn between the known knot and the new knot, but Polly? That's not my plot. The speakeasy, tucked in Jackson's Fondren district with jazz humming low and walls papered in vintage vinyl, feels like a confessional as the Belle unload. Selena, nursing her mic muteness, snaps, girl. JJ's silence was a slow strangly. Don't let Cedric's charm choke your choices. Marcus moved like momentum, test his tempo. Lateshia, dodging her own Glen ghosts, adds fire. POLYaMARIE's a gym for the greedy. Pick the partner who lifts you, not leaves you lifting both. Flashbacks flare. Marie's episode 1 loft lockdown. Cedric's cake crash clashing with Marcus's Rose Rally Season 5 solo spa soul searching where she swore one love, one life and no more multiples. Lateshia salon session sabotage, our mutual spilling. Cedric's plotting a poly pivot to pull her back. Marcus too fresh to fight fair. Lateshia, near to the rumor river, confesses her catalyst. Sis, I didn't start the spill, I just stirred the pot after hearing Cedric's "we're meant for more than monogamy" pitch at a mixer. Thought you needed the nudge. Marie's eyes widen. Her laugh a liberation. Nudge? That's a shove into the spotlight, y'all. I'm no Harpo, I'm Sally choosing me. The chat cascades into collective catharsis. Akish anointing with audits for romantic red flags. Timbre tailoring choice charts on napkins. Cedric's comfort converses. Marcus's future fligs a sogusai seasoning with soul food for the soul. One man's feast is another's famine. Marie's turning point text Starma to Cedric. Legacies closed, let's co-parent. Non-complicate to Marcus. Apt dream sounds delighted dinner to discuss. A seals her solo stand. Her confessional a crown. Rumors lit a fuse. But I blew out the POLYAMARIE loves my lane. Not a lane split. Ex-fans frenzy with fire. At Jackson Juice Jar tweeting, Marie's monogamy manifesto in #POLYAMARIE. Lateshia's rumor roasted right back at Belle's choosing self over sides. #Belle Collective 6, OWN's lens montage of napkin charts like love ledgers. Wide sweeps of the speakeasy's soulful has intensifies the ignition, echoing Jackson's essence. These bells don't just brunch on beef, they barbecue boundaries. This segment spins the scandal to sovereignty, fusing farce with fortitude, leaving viewers locked on Marie's lane. As the Belle unbreakable bond proves, gossip scale can ground a queen's glide. The speakeasy's jazz fades to a Jackson jazz of justice as Marie's choice crystallizes in POLYAMARIE. The Belle napkin tribunals turning to tactical toasts at Embra's fashion drug pop-up, where sequins sparkle like shattered secrets and stilettos stomp out the shade of Lateshia's rumor ripple. Marie's monogamy manifesto manifesting amid the group's own relational reckonings. Marie, her jeans now paired with Embra's choice chain necklace, a gold medallion etched one lane. One queen struts the drug's pop-up runway, her voice a velvet verdict. Cedric's sequels shelved. Marcus gets a test drive, but no poly pit stops. I'm driving my destiny. Not deterring for drama. The pop-up, parked in Fondren's artsy alley with velvet ropes and vibe boards, buzzes with boutique browsers as the Belle brainstorm. Marie's app collab with Marcus pitched as clinic coachery attack for tailored health at Embra, tailoring the tagline, fit for the future, not the fallout. Flashbacks flourish. Marie's loft lockdown liberation. Cedric's crash countered by Marcus's calm Season 5 solo strength where she swore no more multiples. Just me. Lateshia's salon slip that sparked the spill. Her confessional a contrite COO. I thought I was helping. Rumors are like wigs, they fit funny if forced. The Belle bond over their own lanes. Selena scripting her mic echo exercise. Lateshia locking Glenn's ghost grants gossip with the lone officer lead. Akish anointing audits for all. So Gusai seasoning solo suppers for self-love. Marie's mic drop moment arrives in a truckside toast. POLYAMARIE's for playlists, not partnerships. As Cedric's chorus is closed. Marcus, let's do it or done. Her text to Marcus at dinner to discuss directions, not detours. A seals the shift. Her confessional a coronation. Rumors with a rear view. I'm accelerating ahead. Ex-fans finale with flair. At Fashion Fierce Belle tweeting, Marie's monogamy march at Embra's drug. Rumors rooted, romance refined to Belle's building lanes, not lanes divided. #POLYAMARIE. #Belle Collective 6, OWN's visual montage of runway struts like resolve runs. Wide shots of the alley's artistic alley-wapa elevates the empowerment, underscoring Jackson's magic. These bells don't just pop up, they propel purposes. This act arcs the egg to ascent, blending banter with breakthroughs, leaving viewers vested in Marie's velocity, as the Belle bond becomes the episode's unbreakable accelerator. As Embra's structure teases its triumph under Jackson's twilight tapestry, POLYAMARIE hurtles toward a harmonious horizon. Marie's choice catalyzing a collective charge where the Belle blueprint lane legacies at Selena's sunroom soiree. Mimosas mingling with manifestos as Latishia's rumor residue rinses into relational resets amid Mississippi's resilient rhythm. Marie, her choice Jane glinting like a guiding star, hosts the huddle via video from her clinic. Cedric's blocked. Marcus booked a Polly's off the playlist now. Let's plot our Poly strength. Multiple strengths. 1. Sisterhood. The sunroom, bathed in Selena's real estate regalia blueprints and bay windows abuzz with a Belle brainstorm. Marie's appliance with Marcus as health harmony hub. Latishia's Glen gossip grilled into a truth tracker app collab. Selena scripting her mic manifesto meetings. Flashbacks finale the flourish. Marie's loft lockdown to Lane lock-in. Cedric's crash to Marcus's cruise season 5 solo spot to S6's strategic spark. Latishia's salon slip to sisterhood salve. The soiree seals with Elaine Pledgia jar slips of I choose my path. We pave the POLYaMARIE's note, from poly pickle to purpose path of one love, infinite lanes with y'all. The Belle bond blooms, Akish's are alliance oils, Tamra's truth threads for truck tours, so Gusai's flavor for the future fusions. Marie's confessional crowns it, rumors with a rumble sisterhood's the road I'm racing my race, ex-fans finale with fire, at Lane Lockbelt tweeting, Marie's manifesto at Selena's soiree, Poly to Purposia Belle's paving paradises, #POLYaMARIE #Belle Collective 6, OWN's montage fading flashbacks to forward flares, a soulful unstoppable remix swelling lifts the legacy, teasing episode 3's brunch blaze. This finale isn't finish, it's fuel. Marie's story is iron for stalled souls, and Jackson's unbreakable circle, POLYaMARIE morphs to poly strength to multiple paths. One powerful parade, viewers emerge empowered, ready to lock their lanes, proving every Belle's choice is a chorus of crowns, in the new explosive episode of Belle Collective Season 6, titled POLYaMARIE. The southern charm of Jackson, Mississippi takes a backseat as emotions erupt. Alliances crumble, and old wounds get reopened in front of everyone. The air is thick with tension, and from the very first minute, you can tell something big is about to go down. Marie, the heart and hurricane of the group, finds herself caught in a whirlwind of relationships that are not just about business or friendship anymore. It's about loyalty, love, and the raw truth behind her complicated life. The episode opens with Marie reflecting on how far she has come, the empire she's built, and the sacrifices she's made along the way. Her success is undeniable, but so is the price she's paid for it. In her confessionals, Marie's tone is fierce yet emotional, as she admits that people see her as strong, but very few understand the storm she lives in every single day. The word POLYaMARIE starts to circle around not just as a catchy episode title but as a reflection of multiple emotional connections and the blurred lines between partnership, friendship, and love in her world. Meanwhile, Latrice and Lateshia are moving through their own drama. Both strong women in their lanes but unable to stay out of the storm that follows every Belle. Latrice, known for her unfiltered honesty and bosswoman attitude, finds herself questioning whether her friendships are real or built on convenience. The conversations between her and her husband Cliff turn sharp when she brings up loyalty, loyalty not just in marriage but in friendships that seem to twist with every rumor. As the sun sets over Jackson, you can feel the tension rise. The ladies gather for what's supposed to be a calm discussion, but it quickly becomes anything but calm. Marie walks in, stunning as always but with that guarded look that says she's ready for anything. Every woman in that room has something to prove and something to hide, and as soon as one accusation is thrown, the domino effect begins. Voices raise, truths are twisted, and it becomes clear that in this circle, no one is completely innocent. The energy shifts from laughter to confrontation in seconds, and everyone is left wondering, who can really be trusted? In that moment, Marie stands tall, defending her name and her narrative, while others whisper behind their drinks. She's accused of playing both sides, of being too controlling, too secretive, too involved in everyone's business, but the irony is that everyone there is guilty of the same thing, hiding behind polite smiles while their hearts are full of secrets. The confessional cuts are intense. You can feel the producers leaning into every reaction, every tear, every sly smirk. This is Belle Collective at its most raw, a women with power, pain, and pride colliding in one unforgettable storm. As the night deepens in Belle Collective S6E2 POLYaMARIE, the emotional waves keep crashing harder. After the heated confrontation, the room feels like a battlefield, the kind where words cut deeper than any weapon. Marie takes a deep breath, trying to keep her composure, but the moment she looks into the eyes of her so-called friends, the pain surfaces. She's tired of being misunderstood, tired of carrying everyone's burdens while her own heart remains heavy. The camera lingers on her expression, showing a woman who has given everything: her time, her trust, her patience, only to find herself standing alone once again. In the confessional, Marie speaks directly to the audience, saying she's learned that success in Mississippi comes with a price, and sometimes that price is isolation. While she's fighting her emotional battles, Lateshia is fighting her own storm. Her marriage, already strained by expectations and rumors, faces a new test. She's trying to prove that she can be both a powerhouse businesswoman and a devoted wife, but the cracks are showing. Her husband's silence speaks louder than words, and every time she looks at him, she wonders if he still believes in her vision or if he's quietly slipping away. Meanwhile, Lateshia can't seem to shake the feeling that Marie's drama always ends up overshadowing the group. She confides in Gucci, who listens with her usual mix of grace and attitude. The two women sip their drinks and exchange glances that say everything. They're exhausted by the drama but secretly addicted to it. Belle Collective isn't just a show about business, it's a mirror reflecting the complexities of Black Southern womanhood, ambition, and relationships. The episode digs deeper into each woman's personal story, exposing the duality they all live with. They were leaders, entrepreneurs, mothers, and wives, yet each carries insecurities that could break them if exposed. Marie's life outside the group becomes a key focus midway through the episode. She sits down with her mother and son, trying to rebuild the fragile threads of her family. The dialogue is raw, filled with tears and long silences. Marie's mother admits she never thought her daughter would become the woman she is today, a powerful, independent, but often alone. Her son, quiet but observant, finally speaks up, telling her that he just wants his mother to be happy again. The scene is powerful, giving viewers a glimpse of Marie beyond the headlines and the gossip. It's in these moments that the audience remembers why she's the emotional core of the show, a flawed but human, proud but vulnerable. We're back with the other ladies. The gossip wheel turns again. Someone brings up a rumor about POLYaMARIE, hinting that Marie's personal life isn't as straightforward as she claims. The word spreads like wildfire. Everyone has an opinion, and no one has the facts. What began as a small misunderstanding transforms into a full-blown scandal. The group chat lights up, whispers spread at brunches, and by the time they meet again, everyone's ready to confront Marie with their own version of the truth. The producers know this is gold, the kind of emotional explosion that defines reality television. But beneath all the drama, there's something deeper happening. Each of these women is being forced to face herself, her choices, her truth. By the end of this part of the episode, Marie's strength is both her weapon and her curse. She's still standing, still unbothered on the surface, but when the cameras fade to black for the next act, her eyes tell a different story, one of exhaustion, heartbreak, and the desperate need for peace in a world that won't stop watching.